moving on with the day. Coming up next, we do have Team Envy versus Excelerate. And Study, this is something you've been mentioning to me with Excelerate. How do you feel they're going to do with the meta change from double to single stock?
Well, you have players like Profizi, you got players like Fastballer. These guys have just been able to, basically mastered the movement when it came to the double stock meta. So they played a lot of frequency. No team was able to keep up with them in frequency control, just in general. So I'm actually really curious to how they're going to be looking, but just a single stock meta, because players completely change. You're talking about your movement and everything is just completely different, especially as a SOG player. So I'm just really hoping that they're able to adapt to this and not like make it hurt their gameplay a lot, because I'm expecting them to still just be flying around and stuff like that. And if it's not, I feel like this team is going to really struggle if they're not able to keep up with their own pace.
Well, and we've certainly seen other people struggle with that change.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I mean, it's a big change in the game. And for this Excelerate team, a lot of the matches came down to their vetoes, where they would win it in there. And going against Envy, this is a team that's definitely prepped, with their coach Bevels getting ready, scrimming, saw them in the back. They definitely have a game plan going into this. Accelerate, we saw that stat being very good at search and destroy. They're going to have to win those in this series. Envy's a pretty well-rounded team. In terms of the respawn, I mean, Accelerate, we've seen them win some crazy games. Like, they have talent on their team. My worry would be them giving up streaks versus Envy.
And on top of this, speaking to Envy's point, they're undefeated in control at the Pro League qualifier, 6-0.
They were dominant in this game mode. The only way I see them losing control right now is if they play them on frequency. We saw Accelerate be extremely strong on frequency, but Envy just seemed to be so ahead of the other teams in the POQ in control. Their players, their pushes and everything were just on point. We'll see if they can keep that going.
Yep, and then Hook, obviously on your screen right now, led his team in a respawn in KD at the POQ at a 1.28, which is incredible if you're a sub player. You're the guy that's going first. Hook, a guy known for being one of the most aggressive players in the game, one of the hardest kills to pick up. He's really good at throwing those shoulders, playing his life, and picking up those entry kills, and he's a pivotal role on this roster, so it's going to be huge for him to keep that up. And I'm really going to be looking at Silly to keep up his performance he had at the POQ. He seemed to be, dominant and ahead of a lot of the players, and kind of a duo with Hook there. And if he's able to keep on doing that, Envy has a bright future in this division.
And I mean, you've played with them, of course, so are you expecting anything coming out of this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a totally different game, obviously, but, some of the players in this roster, like I played with Apathy before, an incredible talent, one of the most hardworking, dedicated players I've ever played with in my life. Anytime these guys lose, him and Pat, the rest of this roster, they're going to go back and they're going to fix it, right? Like, they're going to scrim night in or day in and day out. They're going to fix all their issues. So this is a team that's going to be deadly. If they're good right now as well, they start off hot, they can be a great team, potential top 4 for the year.
100%. Yeah, and I mean, so far, we have seen some of the bigger names, lose their first matches going into Division A, Division B. So it's kind of wondering and Study, like, can Team Envy get a W, kind of break that?
I feel like Envy is just going to come in here and do the same thing they did at POQ, just handle business, especially going up against Accelerate, not one of the top tiers teams, at least first match we can tell, compared to all the other teams. But I'm just expecting them to come in here and handle business, plain and simple. I'm expecting Apathy to just, throughout the year, Apathy's just going to get better and better. For some reason, he decides to be the best at champs. So I'm expecting him to just step it up. Him and Hugh, as their SOG players, is going to be a dominant duo.
Well, we will see, of course, what is going to happen with that match, which is coming up very shortly. But you did just see Heretics get their second win for Division B, going to be feeling very, very confident as we continue on this week with their 3-1 over Denial. But coming up next, we have Team Envy versus Accelerate. You are not going to want to miss it.
Get busy.
Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2, week 1 of Division B games. Up next on main stage, we get to see the flawless at the PLQ team, Envious, going up against Excelerate. And the last time we saw these two teams play, Chance, the result was pretty heavily favored in one side.
Pretty hot 3-0. Envy got the win. It was 3 gridlocks they actually played. It was like 251-62, 6-1 in the search, and then a 3-1 for the control. But the good news for Excelerate is the only gridlock they have is map 5, which obviously they do not want to go there because it didn't go well the first time, but maybe they cooked something up. It's been a while, so who knows. But on the flip side, if I'm Envy, I'm thinking never play this team on frequency. If Excelerate ever plays frequency against any team, I'm going to be a little bit confused unless it's like a god tier team on frequency and playing against them, but Envy does that. So we're having fresh set of maps with not a plethora amount of information that we have on these two teams, so should be a good series.
Okay, excited for Team Envy. As we said, their PLQ performance was fantastic, but there were questions over whether they'd be able to replicate something similar to that against the top 4 teams. That's always been the kind of question mark of the PLQ. Well, the top 4 teams weren't there. We don't really know where they stand. In your mind, Chance, where would you rate this Team Envious squad?
I don't. I really don't. I don't rate anyone yet because we've had, like, even in Division Bay, we've had too many shakeups. Like, I think a huge question is how do you rate Midnight? Like, it's just, it's too tough to say. We don't know how good these teams are. There's too much to learn. So we'll watch Envy play Excelerate, and then we'll make a little bit of a learning period, and then we'll go from there and build and build and build. But I will say, after saying I expect it to be a good series, not only does map 5 definitely favor Envy, also the control definitely favors Envy. So you want to talk about some must-win maps for the side of Excelerate, map 1 and 2. Honestly, you gotta feel pretty important to get those wins.
Okay, of course, some experienced players here in the Pro League on Team Envious, and some new faces over on the other side for Excelerate. We talked a little bit about it in our game earlier on today, getting the nerves out the way, getting that first game under the belt, and really starting to build on those performances. The flip side can be true too. We've seen greatly experienced teams come and fail here in Columbus and be forced to make those comebacks.
Even just to backtrack and try to answer the question of where do I rate Envy, I mean, last year, they were kind of average all year, a little bit inconsistent. And if you'd asked me, I'd have said, like, I had, like, top 12 at worst, like, top 4 at best. And that's kind of what I was thinking just now. But if you remember what happened last year, oh, yeah, world champs. They won the big shebang. So it's a very difficult team to rate, and especially because something that happened to them last year is they were awful at search and destroy. When they were playing on EG, at least 4 of these guys, they were like 0-11 or something like that. Bad. And then they turned into, really good search and destroy team by the time champs come around. Like, because of the types of players that these guys are, the veteranship, the willingness to improve on the game, even if they have a bad showing at some point, I think even Nameless he brought it up as well, of like, they're going to fix it. Yeah. There's no other options. Like, this team will fix any mistakes that they have.
Most definitely will. As we get ready for game number 1 to get underway, the search and destroys, you bring up a great point, because that's what I'm most excited for in this series. It's probably that game 2. Because for Excelerate, it's going to be so crucial they pick up that win there, just to extend the series through and potentially try and take a respawn. Obviously, you mentioned 3 and 5, very tough. So then you look at game 1 as starting off your campaign in the series strong. And is there anyone specifically from Excelerate, when we look at exactly where we're going in terms of the map set, that you think needs to perform well, Chance?
All of them? So when I look at this series, I'm thinking of, like, if there's one guy in the lobby to watch at all times, it's Huke. Like, I think if you stack Envy up against a lot of the top teams, Huke will probably look good, but maybe not like superstar. Like, you can quell that and make, like, Envy will look good as a team, but if you're playing top teams, it's harder to stand out statistically. But this is a team that I think Huke can literally just, like, talent on them. I don't even know, like, the right way to phrase it. Just do incredible things and just skill on skill outperform. So I think it will literally take a team performance coming out from Excelerate. None of them can afford to have any, like, not a slow map, not a slow start, nothing. They all have to perform.
Got to start well, got to start strong. For now, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. When we return, though, we'll have game 1 of the series, Excelerate versus Team Envious.
reporting in. Kiss them goodbye.
Damn straight. Play new content first on PS4.
PlayStation.
Of course, Sarah, look at Operation Grand Heist. Chance, a ton of updates coming. And I know the one we're most excited for, League Play.
Yes, oh my God, please
wait.
on Thursday.
Can't
Anything, give me 3 O's for all these. Well, that doesn't speed time up.
No, it doesn't.
So it doesn't affect
that's
it.
That's not how time works. No.
I could go to sleep sooner,
I guess.
maybe, and that might make things seem better. But yeah, League Play comes on Thursday, and if you end up anywhere in the, I don't know if it's gold division, whatever the average division is, I'm gonna be cleaning shop. I'm gonna live there. I'm gonna rue the day, and I will never improve because that's just kind of player I am.
Yeah, you're gonna be sat with a sniper rifle more than likely in respawn, just
Team
killing,
killing.
just killing everything in sight. But
I did that a lot in World War II, by the way. I sniped in respawn. People probably hate me. That's fine. My teammates did.
That guy.
Yes,
You
that
are
would be me.
You are that guy. Note to self: don't play League Play with you. But moving forward, of course, back to this Accelerate Envious. Here's a glance at our series layout once again. Seaside, Hacienda, Seaside. If the series goes further, an Arsenal, Hardpoint, Gridlock, Search and Destroy. You brought up the point the last time these two teams met. It was an MB3-0, but all 3 games were on Gridlock. We won't see the Gridlock Search, of course, until Game 5. Talked Seaside Control, another map which you feel maybe favors Team Envious somewhat. So for Accelerate, you have to start this series strong. You have to.
I mean, genuinely, they might have to win maps 1, 2, and 4. That might be the only pathway because, I mean, again, anything could happen, but again, Envy has been a dominant control team, let alone on Seaside where they're 4-0. And then, of course, the Gridlock from map 5. It was a 6-1 the first time. Of course, that was many moons ago, like 2 months or something like that. And well, just by the way, you're talking about updates. Keep in mind the update that came out today. We're not playing on that patch. Nope. So this is the old. That's why you're seeing Maddoxes everywhere because they're still great. Right now, they are still the dominant weapon.
Most definitely are. Accelerate Envy now underway. Game 1. We're kicking things off on board with Hook, and you made the point that you expect him to have a solid performance. I mean, well, as do I. In terms of his individual talent, he has bags full. Bags full, maybe some to spare as well. As Assault tries to lock down the right-hand side lane, Fastballer will push him. And there is Hook himself for the trades. 8 trades out his life. And just like that, Hardpoint will still be contested. Finally, Accelerate breakthrough.
And it looks like Assault might be potentially trying to do a dance, try to catch a player off guard. And actually, a couple players for Envy are going to be fighting for this whole time. And of course, well, Fastballer over towards New has 2 teammates to work with, and at the speed they're playing, they're expecting more pressure to be here. It simply just isn't. Now Envy spawning, well, on both sides of the map. So the good news for them, the back was still open. So it's 3 players right now for Accelerate just inside the hill, trying to do their best to stay alive. And while you talk about the back spawns coming in, Envy did not block them. And well, that means Accelerate now gets a spawn in the back. Everyone spawns in the back, Ben.
Yes. It's a spawn fest. Finally, a little bit of control coming through in terms of spawns by Envy, but it doesn't matter because Accelerate, they're still on the hill. Fastballer expected the second player to challenge a bait and switch, read the play correctly, just couldn't win the following gunfights as Silly pushes straight through. He finds one, but Ruiz with a triple fancies his chances at all 4. Pulls out a pistol, gets it, 1 more. In fact, maybe even think about the rotation. 300 away from streaks. Ruiz, he's not done yet. 175 away, and EKA would be lovely from that fight, which he isn't going to get. But with 25 seconds, rotate, go, play for those streaks.
I mean, rotate, play for the kills. He's going to fall, but at the bright side for them, they at least have the spawns for next. Believe is going to be trying to watch the left side of the map. He feels a little bit of pressure, and of course he does have Ruiz to hook him up. He's making sure he's going to sit all the way back statue to block these spawns, but now Ruiz might just fall. Actually has a little bit of help from a teammate, able to stay alive. And Envy trying to put all this pressure on the front, but they are not yet winning these gunfights.
It's a 45-31 point game. BZ just hanging out in the hill. Picking up a ton of free time, currently at 3 and 4. Not really had too much to do. When he's called up into action, though, he will win his fight. Let's do the remainder of Accelerate. Envy, first couple of hills, back against the wall somewhat. Nothing to hit the panic button on just yet, but if this final 30 seconds goes fully in the way of Accelerate, it could be a pretty sizable lead chance.
And I'm going to bring it up and just highlight something Accelerate's done very well at. Anytime you're blocking the spawns in the back, you do want to give it up at the end, 20 seconds, so they did that on purpose to try to help the rotation. Maybe did it a little bit too soon. But the way you play it is you have to leave one guy in the back statue, and whenever a teammate spawns behind you, you move in towards the hill, and then you play aggressive. Yep. And I point this out because I played a lot of Pro League Mosh Pit. It has been awful, and people have no idea what's going on. And people need to steady up for Thursday. Once League play comes out, need to know how to hold those back spawns, especially if you're on my team.
Nothing can be more enraging than that. And well, Ruiz with one team kill, but finds Hook with his second shot, and he finds himself again 120 away from streaks. Can he find the final kills with the War Machine? Well, yes, he can. Beautiful jump shot, picks up Assault. There's one more, and he finds himself 2 streaks. He's going to be able to use as we're looking towards that second rotation. Envy finally break in, but that's a big advantage now for Accelerate.
I'm gonna be honest, man. First time Ruiz choked the streaks, he sounded pretty disappointed in him. He did make it up to you.
He did.
21 and 7. Triple positive. I said Hugh, he said me. Having a fantastic game. More than double the score Accelerate has over there.
But you got to use your streaks correctly. And he's going to ping the lightning strike. Is he going to invest it? Yes, he is. We'll see to what effect. None.
No, his teammates picked up a couple of kills. They were able to stack them in. They got full control early on, so it works out pretty well. Now you just have to worry about the pinch coming in. Assault's alive on one side. The rest of Envy is on the other. And so far, it looks like Envy picking up a couple kills, but they got to get inside. Fastball picks up one. The gravity slam, able to pick up 2. All because of that lightning strike, Ben. I mean, okay, partly.
Gives him the control to take the fights. I will give you that. But I was going to say, Profizi in his grab slam, I believe it was yourself that pointed this out at the PLQ. Very, very talented with the grab slam specifically. He's always picking up more than 1 kill. It's never just 1. Normally it's 2, maybe even sometimes 3.
Oh, I can't remember who it was. So one of the guys on the analyst desk pointed it out to me. They were like, dude, like, no joke. Profizi has been like one of the, I think they were talking all the way back in IW, his like ground and pound game was like one of the best. That's how deep they were going with it, but keep an eye on it. Him with the gravity slam, one of the best to do it. Picks up 2 there, and that is helpful in resulting with Accelerate. Well, they're gonna have more than 100. Okay, they left the hill, never mind. They would have had a 100-point lead, but they're fighting for new.
Yes, that's gonna be more important to try and steamroll this game out of control. Apathy, the back of the map, he will fall. Profizi turns and finds that kill, but Envy are in the hill early. 54 seconds. Nearly that 100-point lead. A grapple comes through. Profizi just somehow teleported across the hill. It looked like he's going to find 2. It takes a teammate to shut him down. Aix is forced to invest a War Machine, and all he manages with that is a team kill. Now a Tempest out for Ruiz. Or sorry, for Believe, I should say. He finds 1. He drops. Just a cluster here from Envy. They don't look at all, I guess, organized in pushing these hills, trying to break him. BZ just going to pop off with the Annihilator. He gets himself some streaks. We've seen comebacks on Seaside, Chance. This will be something else.
It's like my analysis was like half right, and one half was completely wrong, and I was like, hey, like look at Hook with 7 and 15. The flip side, I was like, everyone from Accelerate needs to have a good game. That is perfect shots coming out of the Annihilator. That is 2 different players that have gotten fully streaked out. And everyone is positive right now. Beezy's got full, like, it's just everything. Ruiz, by the way, 26 and 9. 26 kills. That's a lot of them. That's most of them.
That's, yeah, it really is. He's played fantastic. It's still Beezy doing such a good job of just locking down the map. He's doing exactly where he needs to be at all times, and he's won the important gunfights. Now you still have those extra streaks that can be used as a sniper's nest in the air, but Silly, peek for a second, he will shut you down. A couple of shots into the sniper's nest as well. We'll see it fall. Silly close to streaks of his own here. If he's able to maybe play this smart, you could see potential for a little bit of a comeback, but you got to hit the shot. Fastball, he's going to be there. He knows it. Challenges, lightning strike earned for Silly. Now looking for more. Player up top. Heal and just instantly fly and push. Find the pick, which he will. There's potential, Jess. There's potential.
It was a helpful bait by Eggs coming in. Gravity Slam is able to pick up 3 just like that. Envy, well, they get the clean break. Silly, by the way, still on a 6-3, looking for the sniper's nest of his own. And actually instantly recognizes that the back spawns come in, stuns one. So he knows at least one is going to be there. Playing for the nest. Able to get it as well. Now the pressure's actually coming in the back. Huke, by the way,
or
205 or 285. 0 and 8. Woo! The question to answer, and well, I still don't know.
It's a 185. Don't worry, my eyes work. And Hook's gun works, but not enough. Falls just 1 kill shy as Excelerate just storm into the hill, for lack of a better word. 3 players flying straight at him. Hook was able to kill 3 with a grab slam on the first defensive push, but now Excelerate looking to end the hopes and dreams of the boys in blue. 17 seconds still left in the hill. They obviously can't win here, but that time is so much that even if you see the streaks come through for Team Envy, it's to what avail? To nothing, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you got streaks counter with streaks. Bees is just going to try to win the rotation battle with it. He's actually just going to take down the sniper's nest.
So smart. Love that.
Take that down. Now you got a lightning strike to break the hill if you want. You got Silly calling in as much as he can, but Ruiz, I don't see any trophy system down. I didn't even see Black. Silly, though, is able to pick up 2, so they do take down the War Machine. Now you got to deal with the Gravity Slam.
This is his time. We gave him the gasoline to say that his grab slams have been tremendous, and well, there's another double. Doesn't disappoint. 20 away from streaks. Not that it's going to matter whatsoever, but he does find a lightning strike as he slides on in to secure the final moments of this game. If you were expecting an Envy bloodbath, think again. Excelerate, they are the ones that put on a clinic.
I was about to say, there's a lot of blood from Envy spilling on Seaside, so we go back to the control on the same map. Maybe you see a little bit of the residue. I don't know how fast the cleaners work here on Black Ops 4, but that is a hell of a game, number 1, coming out from Excelerate. I mean, potentially setting the tone.
Yes, I mean, we said, or you specifically said, everyone needs a good performance from them, and that's exactly what you get. Standout performance, though, has to be Ruiz. You got to talk about it. Almost close to picking up 2 sets of streaks in 2 consecutive lives. Very, very talented stuff from him. His stat line, definitely an impressive one. But more importantly, setting the tempo. If there was any kind of thoughts from the Team Envious players, oh, this will be an easy series. Don't worry about this. We can think about lunch in like 20 minutes. Nah, that's not going to be the case here with Excelerate.
But at the same time, though, how many... And again, I don't want to sell this one short. I'm not saying that I'm heavily in Envy's camp for this. I don't want to sound biased. So we can get into that. We can hear from Jess down on the floor, talking to a bunch of players, I assume.
Thanks, Chance. Yeah, so first from Excelerate, I caught up with Profizi, and he actually said something similar to what we've been hearing from a lot of the European players, which is he said that they had been having trouble finding scrims. He said, well, a lot of the other pro teams don't want to scrim against us. They just think that we're, not up to par. So he said that they're just here to prove a lot of people wrong and really kind of prove that they deserve to be here at the Pro League. And he also did add, well, we also have to make sure to shut Hook down. That's the player that we're really kind of most worried about. Now over on the side of Envy, I caught up with Apathy, and he said that they're so excited to be here playing, and he added that, well, Excelerate GG is a very fast-paced, aggressive team, so his main concern there was making sure that they can slow down the game to the pace that they're most comfortable playing at, and he said that's kind of the key for them, and also that they've been doing a lot of work on their S&D, so that's another thing that they're really watching out for. So let's see how that S&D goes. Ben and Chance, back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jess. And they said they don't want to be taken lightly. Pro teams not giving them the maybe credit or respect they deserve. Well, there's one way of getting a lot more respect, and we kind of saw Midnight do it in Week 1 in Division A. Just come out and win all your games and say, no, we're here to play. If you don't want to scrim us, that's fine. We're just going to beat you on the main stage.
And just start running teams over as well. Again, that was as aggressive as you could possibly be for that map number 1. But the point I was trying to make before I end up talking for like 10 minutes straight is we have seen, as well as the first series of the day, a ton of teams either, well, start fast or start slow in that first hard point. Like we did see Denial come out early, do phenomenally on map number 1, and then, well, the series doesn't go their way. We saw Gen G doesn't know what map 1 is. They never have a hot start, but then they just end up, what, 5 or 6-1 in the division, whatever their record is. Insanity. So Accelerate obviously looked good map number 1. But again, you got to imagine map 3 is going to be a struggle for them. And potentially map 5, should we see it, is not too great as well. So Accelerate, if I'm them, well, obviously they're going to want to win map number 2. But keep the foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Don't let up for a moment. Have phenomenal performances. Get this map 2 under. And then you're feeling pretty good about the series.
Just don't feel too comfortable, because that's when reverse sweeps happen. You go into game 3 feeling like you're on cloud 9, and reality is the game is not over until you win that 3rd and final map. But game 2, I feel like Search and Destroy is where you expect to see this team excel, which is kind of scary considering that hardpoint performance we just saw, Chance.
It's interesting. So like, one of the more creative things that Accelerate will do is like on frequency, for example, they'll pull out the Spitfire. But then it never really seems to be like the high impact thing for them. Like they do a lot of creative stuff, but then when they see success, it's just they're doing the normal things, right? There's nothing like crazy that they're pulling out of the bag that is the difference maker. It might be annoying to deal with, but it's just one of those things. They're a solid team. And of course, I say solid, it might turns out they're spectacular, and maybe they have performances like the map number 1. Ton of Call of Duty left to play, and for a handful of these players, it's the first time we've seen them in the Pro League, so we don't know what they're capable of.
And it's crazy to think, to that point, just how much Call of Duty we have still to be played throughout the season. We've got the open events in between, playoffs, and then champs at the end of the year. Had some fantastic games and seen some great stuff so far. Excited for the year to continue, but as it stands back to this, Accelerate 1-0 up against Team Envious. And if you are just tuning in, game 1 wasn't close. You didn't miss much. Accelerate dominated and ran through Team Envious. As we get ready now for a Hacienda Search and Destroy. I guess I was going to ask, in terms of the unique strats that we've seen Accelerate do in the past, you obviously bring up the Spitfire. Anything on Hacienda outside of maybe a Swordfish?
No, again,
thermal
for
ICR maybe?
this map specifically, well, thermal ICR over in the water, sure.
Yeah.
But again,
Crocodile.
how like insane is that? Again, I think they're gonna
the
be
season
well
classes
together.
now. Hold up. Well, let's, cameraman, zoom in.
He's got a SOG. I think he had a Vapor. Was that a Vapor? Maybe. On the next patch, definitely. That's my expectation, but on this one, not so much. So, again, maybe they'll pull out something creative gun-wise, but again, that is not what makes this team good at Search and Destroy.
Sure, it's
of course
being fundamentally solid.
On the flip side, what has Bevel's cooked up recently? How many strats does he have in the bag?
Well, you highlighted, I believe it was Hook and the frag grenade, right? That was something that you highlighted pretty pretty it's just something not revolutionary by any means, but it is something different that Envy do and others don't. Curious to see if he has any.
And successfully as well. Pulls it out, pulls out the frag, very specific situations just to get a single kill. I think maybe he got one, like a double kill on Showers over on Gridlock or something like that. But little details like that both teams will definitely strive to do well. That can be the difference maker should it be a close game. Or you could just blow the team out, beat him 6-1, and that won't make a single bit of difference.
Yeah, that works too. As game 2 about to get underway. Again, Accelerate with the advantage. Trying to put Envy down here. 2-0 would be big for Accelerate. Again, trying to answer a lot of their critics. You heard from Jess when she was speaking to the players themselves saying, well, some teams just won't even scrim against us, not willing to practice against us. And they're not too bothered about it. They're here to really earn the respect and credit that they deserve for being here in the Call of Duty World League. But round number 1 underway. That's going to be Accelerate on the attack.
Honestly, vaguely similar to the frequency Search and Destroy we saw earlier today, where
slow
10 players spread across the map. No one crosses that 50-yard line. And, well, we were thinking thermal. Em Ruiz has different opinions. I do not even know the name of that site. Is that the threat detector? Oh, yep. Good God. They just know things that other players don't.
He's going to detect all the threats this round. Just watch. I genuinely don't care about anything else this round other than Em Ruiz's perspective. Just to see. Well, he hears Assault drop in, and, well, that's what a threat detector does. Sadly, it's not guaranteed to give you a kill, as Em Ruiz thinking outside the box. Still, though, a 4 versus 4. Bomb planted.
Does help when the lights go off to tell you someone's on your screen. It also helps when they shoot you to identify that you're there. So
nice
on bomb. Fastball, though, he knows it's happening. He's going to slide out. Does he get the kill? He does before he gets traded. If Silly wins that gunfight, there was potential, but now there just simply isn't. Beezy gets free kill number 1. Beezy themes for the free kill number 2. And Accelerate, they detected all the threats on the map, including the bomb defuse coming in, and they take care of business. Threat detector.
I like it.
I didn't even know that was allowed then. I had no idea.
I thought, what was it? What was the name back in
Millimeter Sight Black
Thank
Ops 2?
you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm on top of that, but
Yeah.
for 2019, I'm not prepared. I'm thinking thermal, we're behind the curve.
We are, apparently. As it stands, 1-0 Accelerate. And take round 1. Sniper rifle in Profizi's hands. What can he do? Quick glance over. Ooh.
That's cheeky.
Thanks. Okay. That is a naughty angle. Stun comes through. Top corridor. Silly. Will fall. First blood for Fast Baller.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, oh, creative stuff from Envy. Look at that cheeky little spot. Oh, and then normal search and destroy. You stun a guy, you go kill him, and that's well Accelerate doing it. So fundamentals, man. They go a long way in COD.
Aches spots Profizi, so it's at least a little bit of information. Profizi actually did connect with App. Goes for an ambitious reach out on Aches, and he's at... Oh, I thought he was going to hit it. I thought he was going to hit that shot. I saw him jump back out, and he spotted him. Well, there's Profizi. Oh, Paddy P can snipe too, though. Hold on a minute. Beezy could be in a bit of trouble. Aches, for find the second, not going to happen. The fight comes through.
Couple nice kills coming in. The sniper rifle can always make a difference as well as the first
When you hit
blood.
your shots.
When you hit, well, and you don't get
Neck
hit
above.
Neck and above. That's what I'm saying. I didn't even realize he had killed Apathy. Did over on the right side of fences, came over for the challenge. It makes sense. When we jumped on his perspective, he was like doing the reload animation thing. So solid stuff coming out from Profizi. Doesn't always need the gravity slam. He can snipe too. Get kills that way.
Man can do it all. Do we see more threat detectors?
I hope not.
I just want to see him get a
Thermal works so much better. Like literally saw the red light pop up. There's a guy on your screen right in front of you, and he just couldn't see him.
So the theory behind it is obviously you can use that everywhere else. Like it isn't going to be as limiting as probably the thermal, but it didn't work round 1. I mean, it did technically work. He saw the threat, just couldn't neutralize the threat, I guess. But still, 2-0 for Accelerate. Taking a look at Silly's perspective, Profizi is crawling over, and he is planting the bomb, and the bomb will go down. Still waiting for the first blood, and Profizi somehow manages to pick Silly off, and Profizi gets a double because Profizi is just a magical, mythical being, apparently. He's going to find 3. A wonderful round from him. No one on bomb. This should fall for Accelerate. Having said that, there is still the ICR at play here for Aches. Profizi knows it. Just jiggle peeking, trying to burn a little bit of time off the clock, and, well, he's been spotted. This kill could be for number 4 of the round, but, well, when Believe can just double kill him, I guess that works as well, right?
The lean, mean, one-shot killing machine, Ben. Seemed like everyone that Profizi shot, or at least the third guy, instantly died, and we're going to see a second perspective. Gets 3 kills. By the way, cheeky little plant spot coming in as well. Most guys just sit behind the bomb. Sometimes they get wall banged, but instead comes up, kills Silly. 1 shot for guy number 2 and 1 shot for guy number 3 behind well.
I feel like Envy going to watch that go. He was really planning right there.
Yep.
And
Silly
never saw one of those rounds, which can be frustrating to play, but Accelerate, nothing frustrating at all. They ran through Envy game 1, and they are running through Envy here to start game 2. It's only 3 rounds, but
3 great rounds.
3, yeah, fundamentally great rounds. Profizi still with the sniper. This time he's going to peek top corridor. No one's going to be home here, though. As Envy, it's their turn to fast push over towards A. That's a mantle and somehow gets away, but not for long. Aches will clean up the kill. Advantage Team Envious.
Feeling pretty comfortable with the movement. Unfortunately, Envy will happily take the first blood. Apathy up top is essentially just waiting for the right moment to flank. Duke able to just fastest shot punch. We will see in the next 10 seconds. Apathy, though, was able to take 1 down. Apathy finds 2. And again, you talked about the perfect flank. He's got some teammates to help him out with it. And, well, you get the first blood, get the bomb down for free. You're feeling very comfortable for the round. That is a nice bounce back attack coming out from the boys in blue.
Yes.
Definitely not in red.
It's been almost a decade since.
I don't know what the other option would be for. I think one time I called FaZe the boys in red like 3 years ago, and that like haunts me.
The Red Militia.
And now I just panic. Red Militia?
That's FaZe.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, is it?
I have no idea.
Now you got me confused.
I don't know. Boys in blue. What does Accelerate?
The
fastest accelerators?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, it is Red Militia. You had me doubting myself. I knew it. Anyway, that's not relevant because they're not in the league.
Nope.
Accelerate 3-1 up, though. And looking to make a big impact to start Division B as Emerui's a hop, skip, and a jump. And he has avoided that gunfight. Is he going to get great timing? No.
Now Fastball is just like hanging out mid-map. So many options for flanks on flanks. He's going to be going on a deep one,
So
but Envy's going to be pushing in the front. Huke has a player weak, but he knows the coverage is going to be on top. It is tough to find a way through this door. Profeezy's going to take him down, and well, fastball on the flank.
What?
Ix killed himself.
He killed himself?
He killed BZ. He killed one of his teammates. 2v2.
I guess, yeah. It's a 2v. That's one way of cleaning everybody out. As gunfight comes through, Silly wins it. Ruiz has a nade. Bear that in mind to play with, and he's going to throw that nade. Is that too far? Yep. The following clusters. Bomb is being defused. You got a challenge. Bomb gone. Nice stick from Silly. Envy 1 round away from tying things up.
That was one hell of a kill feed.
Yeah.
That was a 2v2, and he double team killed. I would guess he stuck a player. No, I don't even know. I literally have no idea what the hell happened. If he stuck somebody.
What's this, no? That was the original nade that was thrown through.
So did he literally cluster the rock and then sprint into it?
Yes, and I believe a teammate was there as well, because App got a kill in the kill feed, and then all sorts of trades happened. Doesn't matter. 2v2, Silly sticks the defuse. Great play from him, and Ruiz just overthrowing the nade at the touch.
Bevels doesn't care. He's like, we got the round win. Definitely not upset about that one at all. Again, Envy, 2 rounds in a row now, looking for their next attack, and of course, Apathy does have the attack 5, but he hasn't called it in now, so
I like this.
Just going to wait until halfway through. Now they are flown through, completely cutting the map off, but they do get spotted. Props to 200 health. That was literally the extra 50 that he needed to stay alive.
Definitely was. And for Excelerate, you get the information you wanted. It was a fast A push to mid-map cut. There was no one from Excelerate at all watching the bottom middle, but I'll tell you, Profeezy has now found his way towards top corridor, and if he peeks over towards B with a grab slam, this could be the play! Profeezy with 1, second player on the bomb. A little unfortunate that the reach isn't that far. But Envy now in cruise control for this round. 4 versus 1.
And Huke, as we know, one of the great ICR players, is able to pick up a kill. And believe now for the 1v4, potentially going to take a dive because he's nowhere near streaks. And he will help Huke in. Or no, he had a saw. I thought I saw him with an ICR for a moment. Maybe not. Maybe picked one up off the ground, off of a dead body of someone else he killed, because got the final kill as well. And as good as Excelerate looked early on, Envy has just stormed right back in the game 3 rounds in a row.
You know why?
No, I don't. Well, because they're killing people. Like, they're winning the rounds. What do you mean?
Ruiz needs a threat detector.
I disagree. To each his own.
Imagine he pulls it out now. They win 3 rounds in a row. Or not.
Or just, you know, use concussions, maybe snipe some people. He's got his fist out right now, but I think he had a Maddox based on the attachments that he's rocking with.
Yep. Good call, good call. On the attack, it's a delay A push. Looks as though they're trying to bait out a rotation. That's all on Ruiz. And it's important not to maybe over-challenge here, because Silly is 150 away from streaks, and a couple of shots used to bait out. The stun will throw, and it will connect. Now Silly knows that Envy have been completely out-rotated, but that's a wonderful first annihilator. The bomb is down. Now he knows exactly where Profeezy's going to be, because, well, this is almost a deja vu-like round. Don't shoot your teammate in the back of the head, though. It's now a 5 versus 3, 4 versus 3.
There's a fence.
Okay.
Killed the fence, heard the teammate. 35 off of the next one, which, if you get the defuse, you get the streaks. Not the sniper's nest, but the drone squad.
I was confused for a minute there. I thought he
dropped through a fence.
And still is an annihilator.
It's a really strong fence.
That's true. It's definitely not made of something.
It's that nice oak.
Wood. Okay.
Fair I can only name like 3 trees, so I'm going to roll with oak.
We'll go with it, right? It's a solid wood. 4-3. Envy. 4 rounds on the trot, and more importantly, Silly with streaks. Chance. Feel like this is the turning point here for Envy to just maybe win 6 on the trot, 6 back-to-back.
Well, I mean, so the good news for Excelerate is obviously they did get to look and see, oh yeah, Silly is streaks, we know for a fact. The problem is both bomb sites, a little bit out in the open.
Just a tad.
Get a lightning strike called in on them, it's going to hurt. Of course, the sniper's nest doesn't really make things easier. Gonna try to have to get those first bloods. By the way, no cold-blooded on at least one player. Drone squad gonna get called in by Silly. And now if they get this bomb down, you got the drone squad that's just gonna sit on top the entire round, or just first blood Profeezy. Silly working hard for these kills. Might be able to do some with a gun as well. And that drone squad is trying to put in shots to beat down and Aches. 3 team kills so far this game, but does it matter? I think not. 4 team kills this game. Actually,
All right.
There we go. Hey, Silly's getting the kills.
Thanks. You don't need to shoot your own team.
Or nade them. Or nade yourself. Yeah. Or throw a nade and then sprint into it and die. Flashbacks to AW.
Of course, Ake's a long-time veteran in Call of Duty, still top of his game. World champion as well, let's not forget. And just wallbanging absolutely everything. You get in his way, he's going to shoot you.
Yes, he is.
And of course, he can smile about it now, but there are a couple of rounds where maybe the outcome is a little different. Probably not going to be smiling and joking about it, but either way, Envy with the advantage, 5-3. Silly still with 2 streaks. The Lightning and the Ping, I believe. I didn't see him use it. And also the Sniper's Nest. It's an aggressive push from Excelerate. And there is the Ping, and yep, he heard they're all on B. Finds one. Anything else? No, doesn't look like it.
Call it the Sniper's Nest if you want. No reason not to.
Is that going to be the thought? Yep. Just like that. You invest the first streak, may as well invest the second, especially considering there's 50 seconds left on the clock. He covered B very well.
And like it's a situation where like BZ potentially could have had a really good flank on a couple players, except for the part where you can't go outside. Now Perfeezy is just like, oh dear, just give me 5, and he gets dropped. Silly putting in work with that Sniper's Nest. That bomb is down. And how do you get the plant? Envy, just don't challenge. Just let the Sniper's Nest do the work. Just play your lives, hide in a corner, and then just let him try to plant the bomb.
Well, 3v3. Maru's good, and I have something I want to touch on at the end of this round, because it is extremely relevant. 17 seconds. His bomb going to be planted, and I think Paradox knew exactly where I'm going to go with this, as he just glanced on the scoreboard. Shots coming from the back. Silly with 1. Tags up the second. App will kill him now. Envy take map 2. 1-1. Now,
6 rounds in a row, by the way.
Yeah,
fantastic stuff for them.
Great social choice. Misplay from Excelerate, giving Perfeezy bomb. Here's why. There is a theory, and I don't know if you know this.
Here's why. It's a theory. Yeah.
Well, no. Like, it seems like a very valid theory. And I've heard a couple players talk about it, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm not sure if anyone else has, but you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait before Game 3. It's a great theory, so get your pens, get your paper ready and waiting, because you're going to want to hear it. Some of you may already know, but in terms of the series, we're all tied up 1-1. We'll be back after this with my crazy theory in Game 3.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Amp Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Envy Accelerate 1-1 in the series.
Ben, I felt like we were on a TV show.
Yep.
The end of the season came and you left us on the largest cliffhanger
I did.
I have ever heard. I was told you had some outlandish, some crazy theory.
Yep.
Why don't you break it down?
I got the knowledge chance, or at least I think I do. I'm pretty sure it works. I'm pretty sure this is how it works. So for any of the score streaks, like your drone squad, like your sniper's nest, there's been kind of a question mark on, well, how does it work? Is it something that's just going to fly around? Because sometimes you see them pop off, they get a ton of kills, other rounds they don't. Now the theory is the AI streak will target the MVP on the other team, the top performer. So in theory, Profizi taking the bomb means him as the top performer in that round and in the game at that point, he's going to be targeted first. What happens? Sniper nest kills him. If someone else had the bomb in that situation, I mean, you know the other team has a sniper's nest, right? So for me, I'm saying, all right, well, whoever's the worst on the team, I don't care what you normally do, you're taking bomb.
Couple problems with that. One, we don't know if it's true. It seems very likely. Like if you've ever played pubs and you're doing well, the streaks almost always seem to kill you. So I think there's a lot of credence to it. The issue is, one, you already got first blooded. Two, if you're trying to plant the bomb, if you're the only one out there, it doesn't matter if you're MVP or not, it's going to kill you. So that means, literally in that situation, you have to send multiple people outside. You have to have at least one MVP guy bait outside, not with the bomb while the other guy plants, to be like the sacrificial lamb. And so basically, because of the sniper's nest, you're basically saying, all right, we're guaranteed to give away the first blood.
I'm just saying.
Try and get the bomb down?
I'm just saying that this is a working theory. And important to note, the round before when Silly invested his drone squad, who was the first kill that came through with the drone squad?
No, I completely agree. I think if there's ever a situation where
I'm not
you win a round and there's a drone squad or a sniper's nest and you're trying to defuse the bomb, whoever's doing the worst, let that guy hot bomb.
Sure.
And then everyone else like huddle around him.
Yeah. I agree.
Nice little formation.
I agree with you. Just try and bait out the shots as much as possible. Guys, if you want to go test that theory out, feel free. Let me know if it's correct or not. But it's a theory which a couple of players have adapted themselves. And I haven't heard any commentators or any of the analysts guys kind of talk about it. So I figured, hell, why not share maybe an inside secret? As league plays coming out on Thursday, I want to make sure, all right, if I'm MVP on my team in search, I'm not getting near the damn bomb, all right? Someone else, it's your job, okay? It's your job.
See, the problem is everyone in their mind just heard, well, I'm definitely the MVP, so I'm never hopping bomb. And that's a problem, because when you're on my team, sometimes you just need to plant the bomb. Like, I'll try it, don't get me wrong, but like, we need to teach these guys good fundamentals, and hopefully these teams can teach us how to play seaside control. You have, actually, I'm trying to think, maybe more creative opportunities on this map than any other control. Gridlock, maybe not so much. Arch, definitely not. All right, Reciprocity would agree. Yeah, I think Seaside might give you the most creative options. I mean, it's close. I'm sure, like, you know, even Gridlock, you can do some stuff. Like, a lot of potential, but Seaside's a fun one.
To your point, it was the first map where you saw teams say, well, this is the favorable zone. Let's five-man push the other side of the map. It was the kind of the first look at maybe just going out for some bait pushes as well. Reciprocity do a wonderful strategy on this map. We've talked about it a couple of times. I'm not going to keep talking about it, just, you know, out of respect for them. If teams that watch the rebroadcast care enough, I'm sure you'll go find it yourselves. But either way, game 3 underway. Envy Accelerate 1-1.
And just as a quick refresher, over at the PLQ, Envy in control in general, 6-0 on this map. On LAN, 4-0. That's the entire year. And then, of course, Accelerate on Seaside, 2-2. So if Excelerate picks this one up, that is just massive for them.
And this was one of those maps that you highlighted, saying, looking at the series, 3 and 5 for Envy are great maps. For Accelerate, they're not able to give themselves that 2-0 lead, so now pressure potentially on, as it stands though, Silly inside the B zone, and to be honest, he's only had to fight one gunfight. Sitting 1-0, the stun comes through. Is he going to push straight out? Yes, he is. Silly playing with confidence, but not going to be enough as App instantly decides to concede the B zone, turns around as he baits out a rotation over towards Church. Tested, has to win the fight, not going to be able to do so. It's Ruiz in his way.
Right now, Envy seems to be at a crossroads. They're going to send 3 players over towards B, but not easy gunfights to win. Believe is going to be able to pick up the first, and of course, he's got Profizi here for the trades. And honestly, has a little bit of help, so Envy, you got to make sure you play it well. Treat it like Search and Destroy. By the way, Fastball is locked down one side of the map, so they know the push is coming into B. They know pretty much everyone's going to be there. Fastball is making his move on the full flank, but of course, inside the B site. Kills traded back and forth for the moment. honestly almost straight up 50-50. Finally, an advantage goes the way of Envy. Now they're going to have full control over towards B, but they do have to take care of Fastballer. He's got a couple players. They are just hunting him down.
Just wasting time if nothing else, and actually gets a kill to show for it. Wonderful work from him. B, of course, is taken, as Assault will trade out Believe. Playing in that sneaky angle, and Assault close to some streaks. BZ is going to make sure that that conversation goes no further, as he does actually find a double on the other side of the map. In terms of life count, 16-14, advantage Accelerate.
Accelerate, it seems like they're happy to send at least one guy pretty aggressively over to the flank. BZ was kind of debating on it. He does wrap back, but of course the rest of the team is going to be focused on, well, the bottom right corner of the mini-map over back towards Church. And, well, it looks like everything right now going well for Accelerate. They almost clean shop. Assault's the last one, but I'm fairly certain they know he's there. And, of course, BZ had eventually pushed up top, able to find one kill. And Envy, this is a second time so far on this specific map where they just had to double back. Try to find the guy that's in your base causing problems, and that just burns time off the clock. Of course, Accelerate, they have that life advantage too.
And they do 30 seconds as well. Time ticking. And Ruiz trying to set up a solid defensive stance. Goes for the pistol switch, not able to find the pick. Believe, gonna be under a little bit of pressure here. Jumps up top tank, that's a teammate. Now the challenge through the front door. Apathy and Silly will win their following fights. Fastballer just being a distraction, if nothing else. It's a 7 versus 4. Again, life advantage in favor of Accelerate, but MBR on the zone, but a big flank from BZ at this point. You just simply have to trade.
Yeah, and of course, Fastball is just waiting for his teammates to get inside to try to get the timing just right, which they execute very, very well. And Puke for the 1v5, but 16 seconds, they're all stacked up, and I mean, good luck winning any of those gunfights with the SOG. Even if you get the first, someone's going to trade you, and that is a pretty solid first round coming out from Accelerate. And again, I think it just comes down to the annoyance of players. Yeah. It was Fastball the first time we saw it, who I don't even know how he picks up the kill he did on Huke, but just to draw the players back, waste a little bit of time, help out with the lives, and then we saw the same thing at the end. BZ, 2 separate occasions, forcing Envy to double back, to double challenge, and you have that life advantage when one player randomly just falls, and now you got to worry about trades.
Yep.
It's
annoying.
So difficult to deal with the chaos.
Yeah, it definitely is. Making sure that you're still pushing the zone to slow the time down, but Accelerate win round 1. Now it's their turn on the attack. It's traditional on C side to see the flood come over towards B, and that's exactly what we're going to get. One player mid-map, that's number 9, M. Ruiz, so you can see how he's playing his 1v1 against Aches. Meanwhile, it's just chaos inside the zone. Seems like Silly's been able to find 2, but overall 3 players drop for Envy. That's going to slow down their defensive plays. Now Believe hops into the hill. Easy's going to be there as well, but a good start so far here for Accelerate, but they'd love to be able to capture this B zone with some speed.
It's a pretty good team challenge coming out from Envy on the outside corridor of the map, and it looks like the retake might be solid after the inside. His teammates have cleared house, but of course, Fastball already over towards A. He is pushed out. He is looking for the spawn kills, and they don't know he's there yet, but Silly does take him down. That is a play attempted, a play not successful. They do have players top Church. Of course, it does look like they're just going to be going for it. Don't even know how Ace won that first gunfight. Might have had some help, and it looks like Silly was going to be there. He was that guy. Time slowly ticking down. Not too much time on the clock and Accelerate. They are pushing heavy for this A site. Just trying to get something on board. And you actually got players up top essentially waiting for someone to push out from B. And, well, Huke eventually does, but he wins the gunfight. So Accelerate playing slow. Pretty much everyone on the map, and time is not on their side. They got to do something aggressive, and they got to do it now.
Yeah. 30 seconds. All that's left. 1 tick into B, and that is it. Now another push coming through. A couple of kills come in their favor. Life count tied, 19-19. Maurice trying to find 1. Meanwhile, it's Huke, who's got on a pretty big flank here. Gunfight with Believe. He needed a little bit of assistance. The assistance didn't come quick enough, and because of that, he may be forced to concede the B zone.
So it's pointing out a couple specialists on board. M. Ruiz does have that War Machine in the back pocket, and it looks like he's pulling it out right now, but inside the hill, Huke wins the first gunfight. The back is cleared from the War Machine, but doesn't even look like he's connected with much so far. That's a trophy system right behind him. I don't know if someone took care of it for him or if he can shoot it. He does get the shot off, but Flak Jacket on board. He's only doing damage. 2 ticks away. He does get the lightning strike. But for the moment, it looks like Envy has gotten clearance on the zone.
The problem is a fair amount of damage done in the life count. It's now advantage 7 lives.
Oh, God.
For Accelerate, 14-7 throughout all of the chaos. They want to at least trade out and more. And kills still going in their favor. Silly with an Annihilator and down 4-11. Not going to see him use it. Instead, you're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way to at least tie it up, and then maybe you can think about investing it. Still 60 seconds. This is not going to be easy.
I think you invest it.
I mean, if you're going to do it, you got to do it, what? In about 10 seconds-ish when you think they're going for a big push?
You just play for it. Wait for, for a couple bodies to be stacked inside, but the one thing you can't do is get picked off one by one, and they send a bunch of players on the flank. Now, I'm not too big of a fan of the Gravity Slam. Might want to save it, but a ton of players coming in from that window side. Hukes win one. He has the opportunity to go for it.
How's he
His
alive?
teammates win a couple of gunfights, doing it with the Zog. Fastball is eventually going to take him down. He finds 2. And Accelerate, looking to potentially be the first team to take Envy down in control. And I don't know, roughly 2 months.
Here's a glance at the best play. It came from Ruiz. This was way earlier in the round, but managing to do some nice stuff over towards the B zone. It's one more for his efforts. It's Aches that falls last in that play. That's when he instantly switched to the War Machine and fired that out. But Accelerate, we've seen them be in favorable positions so far this series. They were 3-0 up in the search. They let that one slip. This is by no means over.
I didn't even realize how fast it happened though. I was sitting there focused on the specialist. Of course, a couple of players you see, Believe and Ruiz, both have the lightning strike on board. And then all of a sudden the live just went massively in their advantage. So Envy trying to pull out all the stops. They got the TAC 5 on board. Huke might be looking for that. He's able to find 2 with the Grav Slam, but the lightning strike coming in, nothing. Absolutely nothing. A 4-life lead for Envy. About as good as it gets so far.
And pressure and presence over towards B. More importantly though, Huke trying to watch any cross from Church to the B zone. He will fall. Fastballer will just free up his teammates now to rotate. You can still watch him mid-map, and Ruiz calls in a lightning. That's not going to do much. And still, Envy inside the hill. Aches with the beat down onto Fastballer, and a life advantage. You got to be careful here if you Accelerate. You don't want to give away too much here.
Honestly, this is as good as it gets for Envy. Be easy.
Yeah.
Here's the Annihilator. 2 lightning strikes gone, and all of that for being down 6 lives. That is...
I feel like you have to save at least one of those lightning strikes. And you save it for if there is another round where you get 4 down defensively, you use it to spawn trap. Using both there in that situation, to me, it's a little wasteful.
I think I would honestly have to agree. Using one is fine, you get nothing, but yeah, you're just down on too many lives. Now you're down by 7. Fastball picks up a couple to make it a little bit closer, all the way to 6. Now make it 5. But even still, minute and 40. Envy, honestly, they could just play kills. Just play kills the rest of the time. Make it a TDM. Just don't take any 1v1 gunfights that you don't have to. Profizi, by the way, has a couple kills in front of him if he wants to take it with a Gravity Slam. But he does back off. Honestly, they might not even... They might be just kind of saying, if we get a good chance in the round, or maybe not, he'll go and get 2. Which is fine and dandy so far.
And that's okay if he uses it there, more so because if it does go to a round 5, there's a high chance he gets it again. But I was kind of thinking the same sentiment as you there. Maybe you wait for...
see how the round plays out.
Yeah, but in his mind, it's if I use it now, I'm more than likely going to get it just in case. Still 60 seconds, though, and Envy haven't been able to put anything into the A zone. Trades back and forth. Aches and Apathy trying to work their way inside Church, and the kill lead that was at one point in this round over towards about the 7 mark is down to 3. And time is of the essence. Assault, tap us out. Miss. 3 misses. Finally connects, but he gets tempested himself, and now all of a sudden that can chain, and I believe it did chain. Chance, it's a 2-kill game.
2-kill game, and Envy are spawning very far across the map, which means they get one more good crack at this. They got to have a perfect team push to get inside and stop the clock to maybe buy their teammates more time. Silly gets the intro kill, but you got a lot of players you got to deal with. Profizi inside. You expect them to win that with the Zog. It's going to be chaos inside the hill. The move is here for Envy. Silly's got the Annihilator, able to connect with the second. They're in here, and they got a 5-life advantage, and that clock is stopped. But if Excelerate gets 1 wipe, that might be enough It comes down to this. Misses a shot, got 3 more in the clip. Perfeezy just throwing shoulders, trying to bait out a shot coming in. He waits it ever so patient with the shot. He does get taken down, but 6v2, make it 7v1, and Envy certainly not out of this game yet.
Is Emery's going to go for it? No. Or is he? No, he's not. Tracks all the way to the back. Envy will cap it up, and Envy thought about trying to find him.
Which they did.
Yeah, at the end. Unusual ending to that round, but either way, Envy took him a long time, Chance, but they're finally able to break through. And it was Silly with the Annihilator as well, which kind of secures that round.
Yeah, and so even though we were thinking for a moment like, oh man, Envy 7-life lead, you got to win this round by a lot. Keep in mind what happened that round. Burt the Annihilator from the other side of the table. I think they might have burned the Grav Slam as well from Perfeezy, and both Lightning Strikes get used.
It's a good round.
So literally, the perfect storm coming in from Envy, even if it takes the Annihilator towards the end, and the Tempest, you'll take what you can get, because that was definitely much more burnt from the other side of the table. So no Specialist on board right now. Envy trying to fight back in the game.
And Hoop close to streaks. Somewhat close. 300 points, still a lot of work to be done. As a bit of an unconventional push out of Excelerate. Put a lot of pressure mid-map. App's now going to see that pressure. There's a one-shot punch. He knows the second's going to be in the hallway. He goes straight for it, but Emery's with a shot punch of his own. Silly can be left to just decap the small amount that was put over towards B. Now it's Ake's job. Teammate and support. Players on the outskirts. And Envy doing well off the initial, at least, so far, Chance.
And I will say, Excelerate actually had a really cool opening break that they saw a little bit of success, but Envy just did a fantastic job of handling it. So, of course, maybe something worth going back and rewatch, but inside the hill, it's just assault with a SOG, which is strange, and he's going to fall. But after he's able to pick up 2, which is more as expected, Silly gets the beat down, eventually Excelerate able to break on through. Envy, of course, though, still going to fight it. Puke gets the first kill. The reinforcements are here from Envy, who are going to be fighting tooth and nail to stop this point. You got the gravity slam as well if you even need it. And if these players stack up on the outside, Puke has the opportunity to make a big play.
Puke just simply not missing right now. Finally, he falls. It takes fastball to shooting him in the back, but Silly's there to instantly trade. 18 to 15, 30 seconds on the clock. Excelerate forced to pull out a war machine from M. Ruiz. So there is still Grav Slam available for Hoop. We prefer obviously not to use it, but you never know. 24 seconds. Hoop's there. He finds one. Fastballer shuts him down. Excelerate again, putting pressure over towards B.
And Envy a little bit more patient. I think they're debating on the fight, but they pop the TAC 5, which means they're going to make a move. A couple players, though, are going to get stunned, but Huke's coming in potentially with the gravity slam. He gets beat down. Excelerate taking him out, and now inside the hill. Only a tick has gone by. One player left alive from Excelerate because M. Ruiz is wrapped over towards A. Honestly, you probably have to hop on 8 just to stop the clock. 12 seconds left. A bunch of players cutting through mid-map from Excelerate, but this is risky. They might just get collapsed on. And again, it might be Huke with the Grav Slam. If he wants it, it is there.
And the problem is they don't want to get pressured from both sides. Hook slides in, and that's a double for him. Looking for one more, fails the shot punch, but when you're just as accurate as that, it doesn't matter. 10v5. And this round is done. We talked about the search and destroy. Excelerate go 3-0 up. Envy wins 6 in a row. Control, Excelerate go 2-0 up. Envy force to round 5 and maybe more.
Make no mistakes, this could very well be the map that decides the entire series. I mean, again, we talk about map 5 being at least slightly preferred for Envy. So that map 4, it just puts a ton of pressure on Excelerate, who if they fall here, that would be a devastating loss to take. And again, they even did some stuff well in that round. Like, they had a pretty solid opening break. It was a great concept. Envy responded well. Then it comes to the end, and you got to deal with Huke the Nuke, and picks up a couple kills, makes it look easy while he's doing it. And Envy trying to get that control reverse sweep.
Yep, one round away. And I guess the question off the break is, in terms of specialists, who has what available? Fastballer, like 5 boost. You're definitely going to see Perfeezy with another Grav Slam, maybe BZ with an Annihilator. But off the break, you can see Hook being just unbelievably aggressive.
This is the reciprocity strat.
It's 275 away from streaks. Everyone not showing. Now all of a sudden, Hook baits out, and everyone flies into B. It's a great start for Team Envy. More importantly, though, Hook has to play his life because of just how close to those streaks he is. And still, you have a situation where Perfeezy doesn't want to give it up. He knows Hook may come back. Silly wins 1. He's 100 away from streaks. This is everything going well for Team Envious. And Hook recognizing, well, I may have to actually just try and hit the flank all the way through. But Profizi spots him, calls him out. And Ruiz not going to turn around, though. Hook still alive somehow. Someone needs to finally shut him down, and they do.
Yeah, you guys probably couldn't hear it, but we could in the studio.
That was a
Hugh
kill.
100% got called out, screaming behind us, but Hugh still gets the kill. But Excelerate, whether or not the call-outs came in for a specific kill, they're getting the rest on their own. They have done a fantastic job of holding on the B site. Stuns Hugh, can't find him. So Hugh's able to get that kill, but Fastball responds with 2. This is a 5-life advantage on defense. 30 seconds on the clock. Time is ticking down for Envy, who were 6-0 in control in the PLQ. Undefeated on this map on the year. And their back is as far against the wall as it could possibly be.
Oh, Silly may have to use the Annihilator now. There's one, decides against it. Going for maybe a more opportune time, but with 15 seconds left, that was probably it. Now you're relying on your teammates to at least get in and contest. Apathy's first to the party. Aches is with him. App wins 1, but Profizi with a grab slam as well can choose to close it out. We complimented he never whiffs. Well, that's a whiff. He was a little preemptive on it. As now Silly is inside the zone with the Annihilator, but BZ has one himself. Silly never saw it coming. BZ to close it out here. Can he find anyone overcommitting? Well, that's a war machine from Aches, and Aches will shut down the Annihilator. 4 seconds on the clock. And Envious may just do it. If you're Excelerate, you don't have to push this. You can concede this. You have yourself a nice life advantage. As Fastballer was trying to get creative, Assault has just the remainder of his Tempest left as he pushes out. 3.7 seconds. Add the minute extra time, chance. And this is going to be a hell of a way to close this out.
And this was 9-15. I think as soon as the War Machine kills come in, now down 8-12. And they got time to work with, but make it 7. Huke's gonna fall. Trade's not really coming in. Assault's up top. This is a very difficult spot for Emmy to work with. You see they got to spread across the map right now, but again, just body stacked for Excelerate inside. Fastball just gets annihilated by Silly. That's an important kill for him to get. Envy needs 1 good push.
Life count down an advantage of 4. 10-6. Still Excelerate with the advantage, but Aches reads that like a book. BZ goes down 9-6. And Ruiz with a great nade. That's just going to slow down that push. Problem is, Aches is hunting. 19 seconds now. Finally, the contest comes through, and it's going to be Hook that flies in. He finds 1. Hook pre-fires the second. Grafslav has been earned. It's a 6v2, though. Hook needs to use it. Tries to predict someone pushing in, and the prediction was wrong. Silly 1v6. This one is over. Excelerate. Hand over Envy's first L in control.
And for the map, that should have been the most lopsided in anyone's favor. And now this series is anyone's ball game. Excelerate were ferocious in the first hard point, and that is where we're going to be going, obviously, for map number 4. And honestly, again, you heard what Jess was saying about these teams. They don't, like, Pro League teams don't even want to scrim them. Don't take them seriously, don't take them lightly, but they are here to make a statement. But they got to close the series out.
Yes, you most definitely do. They did well there, not to kind of bottle it. They were 2-0 up, and all of a sudden we find ourselves in a round 5, and we're thinking, uh-oh, it's happening again after being 3-0 from the Searcher, of course. Envy wins 6 in a row. But they are 2-1 up in the series now, Chance. We head over to that game 4, and you said, well, as long as you avoid that game 5, if you Excelerate, you should be okay. They look fantastic in game 1. This could be where the series ends.
It's tough, though. It honestly is anyone's call. There's a lot of chaos that happens, and I think, speaking of chaos, we can watch the end of that control and, you know, look at graph slams and maybe what could have been, because it's kind of crazy. Like, look at how far away Huke actually is. It was literally 3 kills for him to get, which he only got 6 lives, 11 on the other side. It's just tough for any one player to get 3 kills, but it was almost the perfect storm. And then he just overcommits. I mean, if you're Huke, you're thinking there's 4 players surrounding me. You just got to go for it.
Yeah. I mean, he's expecting someone to fly on into the zone and contest, but the contest didn't come through. That's what people saying, oh, it's a back grab slam. Well, you can see what he was trying to achieve, and Aches again with a big opening kill there. And this is where all of a sudden the Envy push comes through. Nice nade from Emery's again, just to cut off that choke point, and they funnel on inside the zone. And then the following sequence of events is basically what we're talking about, Chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think from his perspective, He gets the gravity slam once he shoots this guy in the back, but he knows the guy's out in like the courtyard. His teammate dies from a player's in checkers, so he's expecting the double challenge to come in. It makes perfect sense. Of course, from Excelerate, they know Cuke's inside. I don't know if they were keeping up with it, expecting the grav slam or not. I don't know how ahead of the game they are. They might have been prepared, but either way, in Cuke's head, the perfect storm for that other team is just go for the double challenge. There's one guy in Hill, just take care of him, win the game. So he goes for the play. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but that is just Excelerate. Again, they got that 2-0 lead early up. They were earning streaks. For a while, they were doing everything right. They do secure that game number 3. Now we go on to Arsenal, where Envy has a spectacular record of 0-2.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
Well, and then Accelerate's not much better at 1-2. So, again, anyone's game.
Hey, at least they've won it, right? At least they've won it. There's one thing to note, at the end of that control, Silly definitely showing signs of frustration there. Things not going the way Envy would have planned it out in their heads. Here's a look at the series so far. 250-118 was the first hard point. It was honestly way worse than that scoreline even suggests in my mind. It was very, very one-sided. Game 2, 6-3. Accelerate were 3-0 up. And then, of course, the same can be said there with the Seaside control. Accelerate 2-0 up before allowing a round 5 to happen, which they still ended up winning anyway. But Arsenal hard point. Chance, I got to ask you, it's cliche, it's cheesy, but do we go to game 5?
I think we do. I think the reason being is Envy is just a pretty good hardpoint team, like a 14-7 record overall. And granted, they bullied out some of the Pro League or the Pro League qualifier teams that I had to play against, yeah. But even still, 14-7, not too shabby. They lose the first one, it didn't look great, but that's where I'm thinking of, like, Envy's good enough that, yeah, sure, they could lose 1, but they probably don't lose 2. And on the flip side for Accelerate, like, they're okay at hardpoint, but certainly not their best overall. What are they sitting at? I can't even read my own handwriting. 11-12 or 9-12, I think it is. So close to average.
Sure.
But again, not a good enough record that in my mind I'm like, they definitely win 2. It's just, I think a game 5.
One thing to note, there was a couple of role switches as well from Accelerate, trying to switch things up in their respawn, trying to maybe turn that stat around, because it doesn't sound pretty when you say it. So we'll see. Maybe that is the factor, because one thing's for sure, game 1 was impressive. Very, very impressive indeed. We're going to kick things off on board with Profizi. In his respawns, boy oh boy does he put on a show.
It's all about getting this timing right of when can he push out, but you've got hearing players and vents under window, but he flies out and picks up 2. Stays alive, but his teammates had all fallen around him, so, well, Envy, they get the bounce back on the opening strat. They get that time on the hill. They get clearance as well. Fastball is going to fall. You got Aches at least just going to be spotting out for information. And Cluster Nade is going to be able to pick up 1, slows down the next. And the more important thing that Aches is doing right there is just watching the cross.
Yep.
Counting out how many players have wrapped the next, when you're going to be, how fast do they get there after they use the information, takes down the gunfight. And that is Envy, actually, because Aches wrapped back. They basically gave up the first hard point, focusing a ton on trying to lock down the second.
You know, it's just going to be more valuable as a double challenge comes through. The trades follow, though. Almost found himself 3. This big fight, which for Accelerate's favor there, you would love to have seen Fastballer win, but Hook clutches up, wins it. And now for Envy, yes, to your point, you can see the first early time, but you potentially locked in a full 60 here if you can keep at least trading out.
This is the entire team of Accelerate just face tanking, trying to push their way in the front, which makes sense because if you're Envy, maybe you have one guy sit in the back, watch the flank. Maybe you try to take the 5-on-4. Unfortunately for them, all guns ahead right now for Envy. They know exactly where to look, so you don't even have to have that extra 5th guy. It has just been Envy racking up a ton of damage, a ton of kills, a ton of time. They will be having a more than 60-point lead.
And now the kills on rotation here are huge. Every kill Envy get, they know they're spawning Accelerate out over towards Old. So if you are Accelerate, yes, you've rotated early, but you cannot afford to lose these gunfights. These are massive. Fastball will find Silly. And now the following gunfights will follow, but Silly's still spawned in anyway. And this is really looking like it could be bad news here for Accelerate.
If they win the gunfights, honestly, they're in a good spot. It's just not as easy as you would expect. They got the trophy system down to deal with nades. You got Assault earning 1 streak, looking for the 2nd and the 3rd. He's got them all. So, well, I said you could win the gunfights from the top side in the hill, but they don't even do that, and Assault is running a rampage. It takes Believe to shut him down. But you talk about a heck of a start, 8-2, fully streaked out. And more importantly, you still have more than a 40-point lead, which the kills that are coming up front is going to turn into more than a 60-point lead. And we're going to the hill, wide out in the open.
Envy woke up, apparently, in hardpoint.
Yes, they did.
Much better performance. Well, drone squad's going to be called in. Already. Finds one. That's going to be fastballer that drops. And just glancing at the scoreboard there, Profizi 9-6, 6-9. I'd be curious to see, obviously, EKAs and whatnot into it, but more streaks come through. Envy are running a clinic on Excelerate.
So long as Assault stays alive anywhere near the hill, it's going to be very, very difficult for Excelerate to do anything. So they're going to have to try to shoot that down as quickly as possible. But the problem with trying to shoot down a drone squad, it means Envy, it is free kills for them. They will be feasting. The drone squad is helpful. Having Silly and Huke on your team is helpful as well. So this is Envy trying to blow this game wide open. As you pointed out, more streaks. What's better than one drone squad, Ben?
2!
I was going to say a Hellstorm or Lightning, but yeah, we'll take 2 drone squads as well.
We'll see if he's able to get himself fully streaked out. Grav Slam is available, but a 100-point lead. We've seen him diminish in the past. It's just going to be another one of those games. I mean, based off the momentum so far, you opt to say no. There is the second drone squad earned. Envious are just running through Excelerate. Finally, though, to Accelerate's credit, they are able to get a little bit of time on the board here. Which
is great until Huke goes in and gravity slams you and then kills everyone in the hill and then calls in a drone squad and then you're spawning out and then you have to deal with the lightning strike because he kills him when you try to flood in front. But if you want to flood in through the first hill, then of course you got Silly that's already watching it. Now you got the Hellstorm that's killing players trying to flood in. He's going to die. You do it slowly just to buy yourself even more time. He picks up 2 and, well, that means you spawn out again. You might have to flood in the front again and there might be more streaks on board. It's a tough thing to deal with, Ben.
It is. Yeah, it's very tough. All while being down 100 points. Luckily, though, you can't lose the game here, so a rotation probably would have been the smart thing to do. And speaking of the rotation, well, Huke was there and he read the play. Now Envy with full control of New and Accelerate. I mean, yeah, all right, you got the final 15 seconds, but I'll tell you, that's not going to bring you back into this game.
So map 5.
Yeah, where are we going?
Gridlock.
Gridlock, yeah, that was the one.
To be fair, we don't have to sell it too short. We've seen a ton of 100-point comebacks. Maybe see one here. The problem is you got to deal with 3 more streaks on board. The specialists are obviously being earned a little bit faster by Team Envious. Of course, Huke is nearly halfway to his second gravity slam as well. 19-4.
He just used it on the last hill.
Yes, he did.
He's in form right now. In form indeed. Is that 19-5?
19-5.
Yeah.
This is the Huke I was referring to at the start of the series.
It just took him a while, but he's here now.
He is here now. But of course, Accelerate's in the hill. So they're doing good things. They're spawning on the left side of the map, which means they're probably going to be solid for the rotation 2 next as well. And Profizi and Emma Ruiz, well, they do have their specialists. The issue is even if you win the rotation battle, it's still a lightning strike and a Hellstorm you have to deal with on top of the drone squad in the back pocket. So good spot if they can start burning some of these. But right now, Envy, without the use of any of the streaks, are putting on the pressure towards the backside of the map. Huke does not lose these gunfights.
And that's a rotation you need to win.
Yeah,
if you're Accelerate, you cannot afford to lose that because you know Envy has streaks to break it. It was crucial that you won the following fights, and, well, it's not going to be the case as Huke just is running. Can we just, I mean, it's his drone squad that's getting kills, but still, Huke is just flying at Accelerate. A flank comes through from one. Profizi tries to go for the impressive Grav Slam, but he's going to be traded out. And I mean, I guess the question at this point is how many kills is Huke going to end at?
I'm trying to think. What was the start that Emma Ruiz had map number 1?
9-1?
No. He was like 26-9 or something like that.
Oh, overall?
Overall. Yeah, well, there was a moment in the game where he was like 26-9. Fairly comparable to where Huke is now, keeping up. By the way, we talked about Profizi because the Grav Slams. That one, quite the opposite. He was very close to having a triple kill and then just, again, battered that wall to death.
A desperation play. That's for sure. As Assault can just hover, buy time for his teammates to win the fights on rotation. And from one bloodbath in game 1, we get another one in game 4. Just a different victor. This is over. I love a good comeback story, but this is one which is not gonna happen. Huke, of course, still with a lightning strike. Envious, well played. here in Game 4 in this to keep the series alive and force a Game 5. I do want to give credit to Silly. We obviously talked a lot throughout the first division about players who were good with their specialists, and Silly's Annihilator play so far has been pretty damn good.
On top of Silly's Annihilator play, on top of Huke's amazing gameplay, the coordination of fist bumps through Team Envious, always top notch. And this is the analysis we want to bring to the table. Ben, as predicted, we will be going to a map 5. Gridlock, S&D.
Yes. The question left is who will come out on top. Of course, you mentioned in terms of the stats, it's one that Envy is heavily favored in. But can Excelerate try and cause, quote, upset here in the second game of the day as it stands 2-2. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we return, we will have that Game 5 Search and Destroy.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL. And Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
Reporting in. Kiss them goodbye.
Damn straight.
Play new content first on PS4.
PlayStation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Second game of the day, and it's going the distance. Game 5. Team Envious, Excelerate. Series has had its And it's pros, the two hard points you look at, both extremely one-sided, a masterclass of hard point. First was in favor of Excelerate, the second, of course, in favor of Team Envious to control a close one. Goes the distance game, or round 5, I should say. But now we talk a little bit about the search and destroys. Obviously, you mentioned game 5 heavily being in Envy's favor. The reason behind that, last time these two teams played, it was a bloodbath.
6-1, 6-1, and like, well, the entire series was a bloodbath as well. So the important thing was Vegas, very long time ago, and Excelerate clearly have made some improvements. They got bullied out by Envy last time. Now they're going to game 5. Things are looking great there. They've had some spectacular performances, but of course on the other side of the aisle, Huke just had a phenomenal game. Silly's been on point all series. Aches just loves the team kill and search and destroy, but you win the first one 6-3.
After being 3-0 down, that was 6 rounds in a row.
Six dominant rounds in a row with streaks on board, specialists going well. And you're going into a map that you've beat this team on before, but of course that does beg the question of like, okay, well, what has Excelerate done to fix that problem? It's like we talked about Envy, veteran team, great players, historic world champs galore. They will fix their mistakes undoubtedly throughout the year. They will consistently get better, attack their weaknesses, fine-tune whatever they need to. Can we say the same about Excelerate?
That's the question. Helps having a world-class coach as well, that's for sure. For Excelerate, a win here would be massive for them, just to try and give them a boost overall. But the game 5 about to get underway. Search and destroy, gridlock. Again, the big piece of information we had coming into this series. Last time these two teams played, this was game 2, and Envy ran through them. But to Chance's point, Excelerate have definitely shown improvement since then. A couple of different maps in the rotation. But again, a win here for Excelerate would be massive to give them a boost here in the league.
And I think this is a map where we'll probably see some cheeky strats coming out. I think this is a map where Huke has definitely utilized the frag grenade before. Yeah. I think you definitely have the opportunity if you want to get your final week of Spitfire use in. Excelerate could definitely pull that one out of the bag. And what do you know? Huke's got the frag. It'll be a little bit of time before he earns it. But keep that in the back of your mind. One of the very few players/teams that will attempt it. I think I've only seen 2 teams ever use it.
Who's the second?
I can't remember. It's been bugging me for like 45 minutes now. I think it might have been Splice, but I'm not very confident with that.
All first blood comes in for Huke. Can he find another? No, he can't, but teammates there for the trades. 3 versus 2. Emeruiz does manage to find a beatdown on towards Silly. 2v1, 28 seconds left.
He's got 2 players lined up directly in front of him, able to win the first gunfight. Players coming up for the trade. He's looking out, has Assault weak. He's going for the hunt, but keep the gun out. 17 seconds. Assault might be making the smart play. It comes down to the timing.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Now you just got to play for the kill of your Emeruiz. Bomb will blow. At least he finds the kill.
Might have been E United that put out the frag grenade. I've been trying to rack my brain. If you are listening, one of the pro teams, if you were the guy that pulled it out, can you just tweet me so I have my answer if you're a fan that knows? But either way, pretty solid first round coming on board. With or without the frag grenade, I think you get the first blood from Huke. Does help things out, but was that 7 in a row now?
Yes, it is.
If we're looking at it from that perspective.
From including game 2, it's a Nick Merckx cam. Right there, you ever seen it? Oh, yeah, let's test like that one.
Yes, they did.
Yes, I can, Nameless. Yes, I can. He just yelled, "Can you hear me?" All right, round 2 underway. Aches with a sniper rifle. This is always interesting to see him use a sniper rifle. He claims that he's been fantastic with it throughout his entire career, but he decides to quickly switch after not getting any information at all. And that switch maybe of some benefit to him as Profizi does find the first blood. He throws out his nade, connects with Profizi. Now the flank. Oh, Emeruiz tags up 2, throws a nade of his own. Not able to get away though. 3 versus 2. Another kill comes through. 2 versus 2. 60 seconds on the clock.
And Emeruiz, like, you got to get one of those. I don't know. I mean, we didn't catch like the first half of it, but that seems like those were just lined up perfectly for him. Now you got a 2v2 fastball. Able to take down none. BZ though finishes the second gunfight. No flashbacks here. Takes care of business.
I was worried.
Not a bullet miss. Nah, BZ, that never happens to him. So that's a solid first round. Honestly, and if I'm Assault, I think it was Assault, I'd be pissed off at Aches. You're sniping out information. How does like 4 players slide into Ice Cream to challenge? Of course, it does just come down to a 1v1 at the very end, but just a solid round from Excelerate.
Yep, and they stop, I guess, the overall round count bleeding. And win their first here, tie it up 1-1. But it was 7 in a row that Envy was able to win. Fastballer this time going to be very aggressive. Aches slow peeking with the sniper rifle. This time he does get the information, but Fastballer still with first blood. Profizi follows it up. 5v3 advantage. Accelerate. Bomb is being planted. Assault will get it down. They have managed to find a kill as well, which is going to help, but still at a numerical disadvantage. 4 versus 3. 30 seconds on the clock for the retake to come through. That's a good start. No, it's not. BZ guns Aches. Fastballer shuts down Hook, and the retake is complete. Accelerate, go up 2-1.
Aches should have kept the strife. They tried to quick scope and try to do something, and it looks like BZ ended up taking the pistol off of Aches' body. 4 streak for him. Creeping up on some score streaks as well, and of course, buying time for some specialists.
One small thing, it always makes me laugh that players just, pick it up at about 12. They're not that confident themselves. Like, you're not gonna wait.
The controller dies.
Back in the day, you would have seen about an 8-second pickup, and they would have been like, "Yeah, don't worry, we got it," because you run around shooting other people's bodies. Now though, it's just like, well, just in case. You never know. Things can happen. Controllers can unplug, etc. But a nice round there from Accelerate.
Oh, was it BZ that got the kill on Aches?
Yeah.
In the doorway? Good stuff from him. Yes, the 2 kills at the end of the round. I'm just double checking because that in my head, I was like, Aches was perfect. Nice job. He had the pistol. Hugh gets a kill. You're like, oh, I need that gun. Instantly run straight to it. And then gets gunned. So it literally doesn't make any difference. Pulls the sniper back out to spot for information. And, well, might have some information as well. But
oh, there it is. Nice headshot. 5v4.
And the more important thing, Envy, last round, hyper-aggressive towards B was Accelerate, but this time they stand their ground. They're expecting to mix up BZ. Only able to get 1 because that is getting challenged from 3 players. So that's a very nice read coming out of Envy. Very patient.
Profizi does have a stun to work with. And they have maybe timing on their side. Problem is, I believe him jumping out, Hook did just spot it. Now the shots come through. Hook shuts down Profizi. 1v4, and well, just by common sense, you can deduce that Emery's probably wasn't that far away and decides not to grab the bomb, which would have helped him. He's going to come off the map. Yeah, of course. But you never know. Crazy things could happen. If you popped a 3-piece here, you'd be like, oh, if only I picked up the bomb.
If he popped up a 3-piece with the saw, that would have been. Envy was running.
I'm trying to think
There's a 4th there. I mean, the other guy had a stun, so like,
you never know.
You got a stun. No, I mean, Envy played it well, right? You sent all 4 players essentially grouped up together, so they were making sure to have all their bases covered. More importantly, I think it's been fairly consistent. Get the first blood, win the round. But I only remember 2 rounds.
The last 2, yes.
Okay, so we got 3 then, because the first round definitely happened.
Definitely happened. So then round 2, yeah, it happened as well.
Maybe round 2, who knows? Hugh, I don't know if he's used a frag grenade either. I know he definitely earned it at a certain point. He did. Didn't get a kill, but whatever. I'm sure it helped him win one of the 2 rounds they have.
Now, for MB, it's aggressive over towards B. He's still opting for the sniper rifle. Stat line currently 3-3. App with some good support. Bomb will be planted. Silly puts it down. And Silly may be able to actually escape there with his life. He will. Profizi's got to be careful. You overpeak this, and Aches good chance of hitting the shot. Fastballer to fall for first blood. Still Aches with the sniper spots, 1 up top, and that's an unfortunate hit marker. And it could potentially open up the round or not as MB converge and collapse onto the bomb site as they take that round away from Accelerate.
I'm not a huge fan of the retake attempt. If the bomb gets planted, everyone can just back up towards Sushi, towards the 18, and they can just stare at it with ICRs, with the sniper, whatever you want. So I think you gotta send at least 1 player on the flank, maybe try to get the timing right. It's a very difficult situation either way, but I don't know. I think Excelerate maybe could try to cook something up should a similar round happen that way.
Something a little different, right? Just think outside the box, maybe a little more there, but one problem they're going to have, Silly has earned the Annihilator and is 175 away from their streaks. He also has Aches watching over the top, and if Aches doesn't get this information, then you expect that quick rotation to come. If he did, you probably would have seen Silly pop the Annihilator and try and play for the streaks, but you can see 2 players now. Silly had someone with him as bait, but M. Ruiz has read the flank. He's found 1 who finally able to trade, and, well, you talked about that grenade. He finally has earned it. Can he put it to some good use?
And keep in mind, BZ's actually just essentially sat at the back of the map for players to pass. So it depends on the timing you get, of course. Aches on the front side. You got to strive to try to beat down 2 players. He gets traded. Lee takes down the next and the next. And I talked about BZ being on the flank, and, well, technically it did matter towards the very end to get that final kill. But, of course, it was believed that we're making the big plays. The Maddox with no sight. Still a powerful gun.
Yeah, found 2 and shots into the 3rd. Almost got all 3. And here's exactly how he did it. It's going to be our best play. Helps one player's body stacking. So he knows the 3rd pushed out towards the left-hand side. So good bounce back around there from Excelerate. This search has been back and forth for a game 5.
As expected. And a win for either of these teams. Again, just to get off to a hot start. It makes you feel good.
It definitely does. And obviously the last time these teams played this, it was 6-1 Envy, so it does show, to your point, great improvement from Excelerate throughout the year. Obviously, they're here in the league as well, so that says something. As Silly goes to the quick plant over towards A. That's going to be an uncontested bomb plant. Now, the retake. Wasn't impressive last time they had to try and do it. Can they turn things around here, though?
First blood, He gets traded. It is going to be chaos in the showers, depending on the timing. Silly flies out. BZ has pulled out the Annihilator. Believe is just, well, waiting for the bodies to fall around him. BZ don't miss, don't lose. Has the kill in front of him. He gets the second as well. Makes the quick reaction play. 11-3
Don't
is
get me
the
wrong.
BZ.
It helped a little bit there. The second, or the first player, I should say, was still so deep, but he won't care at all about it. He gets himself 4 with the Annihilator in that round. Great stat line individually. Gets streaks as well. Gives Excelerate an advantage. Now, though, can they close this round out? Wait, did he kill all 5?
No, he only got 4.
He got 4 with the Annihilator.
Did he
killed
get
all
5?
5.
Oh, my
He
dear
kills
God.
all 5. BZ with the ace in the round. And here's the final couple. 1 and Paddy P. Don't get up close and personal with that man. And there's the reaction. BZ, let's go. Hops on the bomb and grabs the defuse as well. It's funny, because if you remember their game to qualify for the PLQ, it went, I believe, to the Game 5 search, and BZ popped off, had a great performance there, and I think he's doing the same here.
Okay, well, your memory is outstanding. But that's got to be the fastest ace we've seen in Black Ops 4. If not, it's up there for Feezy. Able to connect with 1, which, well, the first Bloods have been pretty proficient. Apathy, by the way, that is the 5th team kill, I think, that Envy has had in Search and Destroy in this series.
It's a lot. And bombs going down, and Excelerate playing at that pace where you can see they're just oozing confidence as fastballer challenges. He finds the kill. It's a 3v2. Bomb is down. You still have BZ with streaks just in case. And look at where number 8 is playing deep. So far back in the map, he is the contingency plan just in case. Not that you even need it, as Believe finds 1. Now it's Ruiz's job to stay alive long enough where he can check the bomb and secure the round.
Well, Ix almost got the perfect time to get 1 kill. 12 seconds left. Do you want to burn the streak? Do you want to just hunt him down? I would personally just hunt him down, which Ix makes the correct call. Does make that read to get the 2nd kill, but now the issue is Excelerate has 3 rounds to toy with, and they got 2 streaks just to get a single round win.
And the problem was, even if Aches had hopped on the bomb to try and, quote, burn the streak, BZ was running straight towards him anyway. He timed it so well with Ruiz staying as live as long as he did that he could just bomb check normally. Didn't even have to use a streak in that situation. So, to your point, Aches, makes the right play. It was a lose-lose situation. But the problem, for Envy, Excelerate with so much utility here to close this out.
Essentially, Aches making the play of how do I want to lose the round?
Yes.
Do you want to just get shot while defusing the bomb or maybe go on a streak? Like, you expect BZ to make the smart play and not burn the streak to fly in. So, good stuff from both players. But again, Hellstorm, Lightning Strike, you only need 1 round win. There's no possible way they can mess it up.
Bet. Not putting on flak would be one way.
Black Jacket, there you go. Lightning Strike called in, and Talise going to clear him out of showers. Might connect on a single player. Not going to be the case, so they got the movement. Now trying to come back in, but War Machine's still there. Hugh gets the first blood and gives him the graph slam as well. Bomb planted. That's a good spot for Envy.
BZ's 2nd streak is so crucial. Not going to see music here because, well, to be frank, everyone's going to die, and they're going to die very quickly. And it's going to be in the next follow-up round. Impossible, right?
Impossible. And similar to what we saw in the control, that was another round where it was almost a best case scenario for Envy. You burn one of the streaks, you earn your specialist, which you don't have to use all of them. Yes, you make the War Machine happen, but like, if you're a Hugh, you're almost like salivating of like, these players in the doorway use the grab slam, holds on to it. Yeah. Now he's got it for the next round.
Good discipline.
And potentially the next round. So again, about as good of a round as you could possibly ask for Envy, but they still need 2 more. Of course, BZ just hanging on to that Hellstorm.
And to me, that's the game. How he opts to use it, how effective is he with it? Aches had a sniff of a first blood, but not able to find it. Now, the question, do they streak? Now they do. So the streak's gonna come through. And actually, spots out app. I mean, if you're gonna drop it over towards that site, you just put it in between showers. If there's anyone hiding, that's where they're gonna hide.
And of course, I'm assuming they know there's a couple players stacked up over towards A. Yes, we know Aches has a sniper. Well, we'll try to throw a couple shoulders, try to make the moves. Maybe one of us dies, but we should be able to get this bomb down. And then you got a Tempest. You're gonna have a War Machine to secure the round. So, Bar Huke doing something crazy, which he's got a frag. Aches got the kill. You got a grab slam as well. You might want to use it, but actually the kill might be free. He gets traded. Doesn't even get the first kill, let alone a trade. 4v2, silly and assault. Got to do something crazy. The first kill comes in. The next one does not. Assault for the 1v3. And you didn't use the grab slam.
1v2, 28 seconds. Zem Ruiz, War Machine and Nade available to use. He's going to use absolutely everything. Force Assault towards him. Now Assault's one shot. Now Assault is dead. Accelerate take the game 5, and that is a win, which is going to be massive for their confidence and fist bumps all around for BZ. A unbelievable game 5 performance once again from that young man.
As some of the gunfights Accelerate can win, blow your mind. They are.
Wow, that fight with Hook was
no comment.
Was won, but I mean, if you're winning gunfights like that, you're going to win a fair amount of series here in the Pro League. But Accelerate start off strong. Fist bumps through both teams. And for Envy, last time we saw them play, it was a 3-0, different maps, a lot earlier on in the season.
Oh, yeah.
But big improvements shown from Accelerate.
Hell of a game number 1 from Em Ruiz. BZ played out of his mind for later on his Annihilator. On point the entire time. Profizi had a phenomenal game as well for the game number 2. Across the board, Accelerate looked pretty damn good, Ben, you have to say. Of course, we'll be back after this break.
We have learned something very important during that break, which is that Nameless and Pac-Man are horrible artists and do not ever let them doodle.
Why are you throwing us under the bus?
Because nothing good comes of it. Throw those away.
You're a hater.
If you miss it, we did just see Envy fall to Excelerate 3-2. You guys said before we came on that you weren't super shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It's a very good team, right? Like at the POQ, we saw them, especially down to certain maps, the smaller maps, they're able to kind of take control and play really good. And, you know, with the veto process, you can always get a C-side or a frequency control, and I think that was one of the deciding maps of the series.
I feel like I've watched this match. Like yesterday when it was United in their series, they lost 3-2. Same exact way, 6-4 last map. Envy, unfortunately, lost their first control ever since PLQ. I'm guessing, you know, it just wasn't all there. At least, I'm thinking it's like your first match kind of thing. Because even in the first map, same thing with United yesterday. It was just like really, really slow. And then eventually the series starts, came back in. But Excelerate was just able to pull it out. BZ was unbelievable that last map.
Now, we touched on this earlier in the segment before that match study, but Excelerate and that stock meta, clearly they did all right.
Oh, yeah, it clearly didn't have, well, it's definitely going to have an effect on some of these players, but it definitely didn't, like, get to them because they were able to dominate this series, especially coming into that first map. Profizi had an unbelievable first map. The same with Emrees. They just went absolutely off. Then going into the S&D, it was 3-0, and then eventually Envy just showed that composure, that championship team, and just were able to bring it completely back. And this control right here was just back and forth, and then Excelerate was just able to use their specialists a little better and close out the match.
That was the whole series. I was actually surprised at how fast Excelerate started in this series, and I guess adversely how slow Envy was. Like, to get blown out like that game 1 right off rip, I was surprised. And then game 2, they were down 3-0 before they turned it on. It's like they didn't show up to the series until halfway through game 2. I expected more out of Envy personally, but I'm not surprised by the result at all.
And what was Envy struggling with? Was there anything that surprised you?
On the side of Excelerate, I guess I'd just be very surprised in Emery's performance, especially throughout the series, as well as BZ. Those were the two guys on this roster where I looked at it and I'm like, okay, they're a little bit inconsistent. In order for these guys to be beating top teams, for them to, you know, be an actual threat here in the Pro League, they needed the supporting cast to pick it up and start to have good games to just alleviate the pressure on the guys like Fastball and Profizi to not have to always go off. And, you know, in that game 5, we seen BZ take over, pretty much dominate the game, take it into his own hands, and then on the game 1, we saw Ruiz, where I think the second closest player to him had 15 kills, and he was sitting at 24-9. So, like, when you have your supporting cast going off like that, you know, doing the dirty work and also getting the kills, it makes the game that much easier. And you know that map 1 did loads for their confidence going into the rest of the series, and they were able to carry it throughout. And, you know, a hard-fought game 5 victory is, you know, that's huge for a team like this.
One thing I'm going to say about Excelerate, though, during this last push, they were upsetting me. They had a life lead, and they kept giving away individual lives. They still ended up winning the map, but they were up like a 10-6, just individually picked. Like we saw Fastball up at the tank, BZ out by 8 point, all alone. They were so separate with the life lead that I think that's something that they could patch up going forward, and they could end up being like one of the strongest control teams, period.
Yeah, because the veto process works so well for them.
It works so well for them. If they just fix those little mistakes, like they still won. Fix those little mistakes, make it that much stronger, they could be more consistent.
Yeah, they were up 18-12 life count at one point on that map, and you know they still had Envy still had both points that they had to get, and then I believe it was BZ popped the Annihilator and he kills Silly off his Annihilator, picks up a couple kills, and you know right there you want to close out the game a lot easier than you did, but still get the job done nonetheless. A little bit to work on going forward, because they were up on that map. They could have closed it out, you know, a bit earlier.
And all these, in all the closed search and destroys, it always comes down to specialist usage, and you can't.
This round right here,
you can't do any better than BZ did with his Annihilator in that round.
That was a complete accident.
Give him his credit, man.
He got all 5.
He got all 5 kills.
I
One of them was an accident?
The last 2 kills, it was an accident. So he pulls at the Annihilator, gets a 3-piece. I mean, the round's pretty much over anyways, but it's just funny because he was trying to shoot the guy that was running right at him, and he like misses top left over the left shoulder, and the Annihilator is so powerful, the bullet goes straight through the wall, kills the other guy, 1 shot, and then he just spams it and kills the next guy, picks up streaks, and essentially from that round, the 3-3 round, from that Annihilator play, they win the game, because it ultimately leads to them losing 1 round, using the Hellstorm, picking up a kill, which
Picks up a kill on apps somehow.
yeah, killed him with the rocket.
Away, God.
I didn't even see where the rocket went. It picks up a kill, and then from then on, it's just rotation.
I think there's a gap in Envy setup. Like, I don't think that Aches is a good enough sniper,
I don't
to leave him on an island like that alone. That's why he was like going between mid and B. He didn't have anyone watching his mid, but he had to watch B. Even though he was able to pick up one, he gets instantly traded, and the round from that point, it's pretty much lost. In order to be able to hold the site by yourself, one, you just have to be insane.
Yeah.
and two, the other team has to make mistakes. They probably need to work to help Pat more at B site if he's going to be their sniper for them.
Back in my days, you know, I was probably like
Back in my day.
you know, I was probably like the best sniper, you know? Or at least in Ghost, you know,
Karma.
I was the best.
Karma.
You guys agree with this?
No.
Clearly
He was
not.
the best sniper at multiple events in Ghost.
100%.
He was
But
the
then,
best sniper
like,
at
I promise you,
Champs
I
by
would
events.
never, ever be able to snipe against Aches. You want to know why? Because I wouldn't expect him to use a sniper. And if he was sniping against me, I'm delusionally confident at that point. Because I know
He got a few
Aches-
first bloods.
Yeah, but he could have had a couple more. He's just really, really good with it. And that's just something we don't see out of Aches. And it's brand new to the table. I guess we're going to have to get used to seeing it a lot more. Hopefully he can start hitting some shots.
Aches swears he's a really good sniper.
I don't know how.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but Ant said, no, I've seen him get a bunch of kills with it.
Well, the thing about Ike sniping is he's done it in a lot of Call of Duties. That's just,
I guess
a lot of people don't know, man. I've been around for a very long time. You know he sniped in other
Well,
games.
yeah,
He sniped when there was overkill. I remember that.
But, I mean, he sniped nonetheless. And to be honest, in Search and Destroy, sometimes you need a sniper. Maybe not to the extent that Envy was using it on that Game 5, but, like, it was a close game. It just, the specialist round where he pulled out the Annihilator is, you know, pretty much why they lost. I don't hate him sniping. I just think he should do it less frequently.
Yeah, I mean, he started out on Hacienda sniping as well, and they went down 3 rounds
Yo.
immediately.
Yeah.
Without an ICR, and then they started dominating.
It's not always because the sniper.
I'm just saying it's more helpful to have a guy.
Hacienda's also not the best map to snipe on.
I don't think
You
Gridlock
see-
can do it.
Well, now I think now that we
every team snipes on Gridlock, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, every single team snipes from B, either bottom, or sometimes people go try to take that peek from Ice Cream. I don't know. Maybe he just needs to get more creative with it, because he kept going to the same spot every round.
Exactly. That's the only thing. When you're a sniper in those situations, you want to be able to hold down your position and not have to worry about everything. He was rotating from top window, going to top window on the right side, looking at mid. Like, you just have to stay consistent with what you're doing, because as soon as you turn, especially with a sniper rifle, you're going to get absolute terrible timing, and it's just going to cost you. You're going to run around with a pistol and just get caught.
Like Nagafin, he would switch it up. He'd go into the little connector, snipe the street from that angle, or he'd go into the left alley and pick it up.
Yep.
That's because Nagafin's used the sniper for years, right? But I'm sure Aches will get used to it and, you know, end up adapting. I would hope so if I'm an Envy. For all the Envy fans out there. But yeah, you definitely do need a sniper on that map from time to time.
Well, now that we have thoroughly dissected egg sniping, we're going to pull up the schedule and move on to our next match.